Hello, kick butt Reiki masters from the Healing Place Energy School. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please, let us know you're here. And we are going to talk about how we sabotage our inner queen. And people might say, well, is that like a goddess? Well, one of the things I did today, Robin, which I was going to start telling you, I decided to go through my archetype cards. Check this out.
Okay, yep.
When I was in energy medicine school, we talked quite a bit about archetypes. What are archetypes? They're basically personality traits.
Mm-hmm.
And there's approximately about 52, I would say, personality traits that we are pretty much aware of. And some of them are minor traits. Like, for example, here's like today, we want to talk about the sabotager, because that's something that everybody has a sabotager archetype in them. So as you're setting yourself up, sometimes what you're doing is tearing yourself down at the same time. Here's another one that's in all of us. Storyteller. Like, for example, I know I have a huge storyteller personality profile about myself because I like to tell stories, but not all the time. And now let me pull the two that we want to talk about. So all of these personalities, there's 52 cards, maybe a little bit more. We possess every one of these personalities. Again, what is your default personality? Like with me, I'm going to say I'm a healer. Robin is definitely a mother. She's a healer. She's the one that if you have troubles, you run to her. She's the caregiver. So, but she is a different type of caregiver than I am, because Robin uses a lot of feminine energy and I use a lot of masculine energy. So my thing is about what are we going to do? When are we going to do it? And we're going to do it yesterday? So I'm not as gentle as Robin, and I'm trying to learn from her. Robin, thank you.
And I need more masculine energy. I need to push myself to be more in that space. So that's why I think maybe we hit it off as friends, and because we know that we see in each other what we both need for ourselves.
Exactly. And when I was in energy medicine school, Robin, everybody in class would say, Helen, if you could connect your heart to your emotions, oh my God, nothing in the world could stop you. So what happens a lot of time, Robin, I probably use my will more than I use my heart, because I'm always, I would say I'm very technical.
Yes, you are.
Very, very technical. In my other life, I was at least an engineer, some kind of geek.
Well, plus, before you became a healer, you were working, one of your jobs for a long time was working in a radio station. You were a radio producer. You worked, I'm not exactly sure what you were doing, but you were producing there.
I was producing.
Yeah, that's technical, especially back then.
That's very technical. And I also noticed that was my gig back in the 80s before I had children. I worked at WBZ here in Boston as a radio producer. And then if you people are old enough who know who I'm talking about, hello, Bo T. And who I was talking about was Dave Maynard and Larry Glick. So if you are old enough to remember who they are, that's my last gig at the radio station. And one thing I noticed about people in the radio business, we are all rule keepers. So we're very good at following the rules to make things happen. There's some professions you could be flexible, but everything is managed, timed out. You don't have time to be flexible. Sometimes it's a do or die type of situation.
Especially when you're running something live, like on this show, you like to be 7 o'clock. Like we want to get on at 7 o'clock. That's the deal. Yes.
And I'm going, Robin, hurry up. We gotta go. But see, that's the rule keeper in me. So
and it works for you, and it's important. And I think everyone needs a little bit of that trait. Some, depending on what it is you're working on. Some days you may need more of it. Other days maybe you can relax a little bit. It depends on what your goal is for the day, or how you're trying to design your life. So
yeah, and also too, everybody, as we started to talk about the sabotager, everyone has one. So being comfortable with him or her is really going to be important, because we can't live in guilt.
absolutely. And a lot of people live there. A lot of people stay there, and that's what can cause emotional.
And that's where we get caught up. We get caught up thinking we're not good enough.
Yes, and part of being your own inner goddess, your own queen, king, is about
let me put on my crown.
Oh yeah, put on your crown.
Put on my crown. I get to wear it twice this month. Usually I wear it once a year. So far this year, at least I'm aware of, on my birthday, I'm going to wear it 3 times.
Awesome.
All right. Here's my crown.
So yeah, it's that self-love and acceptance, and being comfortable with being in that, holding that space for yourself, and allowing yourself to let things flow. Yeah.
And plus it allows people space without judgment. So the light attribute of a queen, we'll talk about the queen. Check it out. It's all about radiating regal feminine energies, using a loving energy to protect not only others, but taking care of yourself. That
is so important. Yes, in order to give love, you really need to be loving and kind to yourself. So
very true.
You really need to be mindful of your crown's crooked. You really need to be mindful of how your self-talk is going, like how you're playing that recording in your mind that's speaking to yourself. How are you thinking? What is your mind space? Are you giving yourself unconditional love?
As you would say, Robin, emotions, it's like dust particles.
Yes. Yes.
Because there is there's infinite amount of dust particles constantly floating. So imagine all of your personality traits are just like a speck of dust.
Exactly. And it's all around us. It's within us. It's everywhere. Yeah. Like think of your aura and how you accumulate just energy from other people and the energy that you give off. And imagine all of the stuff that's accumulated in there. And you just need to clear it off, love yourself, and really physically imagine yourself physically in a clear space, in a clear, beautiful bubble,
Yeah. And I also think it's really hard when you first begin on your spiritual journey and you start your awakening process, you really wonder where you are in this moment, because you need to honor your spirit, and yet you still have to merge with your family and be part of your family. And this is where the conflict comes in. So the queen will say, you know what? We need to talk about this. I'm willing to listen to you. You listen to me, and somehow we'll come somewhere in the middle.
In the middle, exactly. And Helen, when you're listening to your inner guidance, your inner voice, what sabotages you not to listen to that inner voice, that inner knowing that you? What is your recording that plays in your mind, or what are you hearing when you're not listening to your inner voice?
I'm impatient and I want everything yesterday. That's my biggest default. Whereas, my goddess, she goes on strike. And instead of the feminine express the wisdom nature, life force, and sensuality. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, sensuality. I can't remember what that's like when I'm not so busy. Sorry.
You need time for that. Your inner voice needs to listen.
To the sensuality, I'm just
Yes.
trying to stay up past 9 o'clock.
Good night.
But yeah, but sensuality here does not necessarily mean things related to sex. It's
Absolutely.
about how do you enjoy life? Are you taking time to lavish the things that mean things to you?
Yes. Are you taking care of yourself? Like, are you putting hand lotion on? You know, are you taking care of your skin, your hair, your teeth, your nails? Are you going for like those? That's all part of this, part of being sensual.
Sensuality. It's about, can you actually feel on a beyond a superficial layer? Because we
Mm.
all superficially, oh, we like something, we don't like something, but we really don't know why.
Yes,
So
you need to,
you can, what
and that
about
can be
you,
difficult.
Robin?
That can be difficult to go deep inside and to realize what it is we need or we want. Oh, what
Well,
about me? How
Robin,
do I sabotage myself?
yeah, but you're really
Many
good
ways.
at this, Robin. You feel on a different level than I do. So what I do a lot of times when Robin is processing, and
Mm.
sometimes, I hope you don't mind me saying this, she goes
Mhm.
underground. So I sit
Mhm.
outside the hole, wait for Robin to emerge
Outside, no,
again.
outside of my. I don't say hole. It's outside of my sparkling bubble.
Exactly. Yeah, and
I
I
have
wait
to
for her to
go
emerge
into.
again.
Yes, and I do that, and I'll do that when I know that I'm going to hit a wall, and I'm just,
Yes.
I've got a lot of things on my plate, and I've got to, you know, take a step back and work on it one thing at a time before I can reemerge.
Yeah, see, this is when Robin is practicing her
Yes,
queenliness, and
queenly.
she combines it with the goddess,
And I'll
which is
tell
really,
you, everyone needs to do that. Some people
oh
do it
yeah,
more often than others. Good for them. Like I good for them. And I think it's healthy, but it also can be unhealthy too, to a point if you take it to the extreme. There's a balance that we all need to find.
yeah, that's true. Like Bo, right? Bo T says he's a Libra, like I'm a Libra, but I have a lot of Scorpio traits. So I go eerie and silent, stop emoting in a masculine way and go quiet. So that's
Mm.
when goes into the goddess mode. It borderline toxic, which is really good. At least you recognize
Yes, that's a
the
big part of
feminine
this work,
energy.
is that you're recognizing that you do that, and
Mhm.
actually when you do that, Bo, just explain to the people around you, this is what's happening right now, and I need to do this self. And I did that last Sunday. I just needed to like check out from everybody in my household and shut my phone off and just stay within me. And I didn't watch TV, I didn't read. It was almost like I took a day of silent retreat. And sometimes you all need to do that.
I did that this weekend. It's probably
Mm-hmm.
the first weekend I have had off since, I'm going to at least say about 5 years, because I work through the weekends. So not necessarily with the hands-on work, but all the back end stuff that I create has to be done when I'm not seeing clients.
Mm.
So I actually sat and I saw a lot of TV until my butt went numb.
Good for you, because you never do that. And sometimes you just need to do that and allow yourself to have that time and space for yourself and enjoy it. So, because
Yes, and I did.
a lot of people work so hard that they don't even take the time to, read the newspaper, watch the news. They're just
I know.
too busy. And I think, that's actually can be very healthy too. If you're one of those people who is always watching the news, always newspaper,
Oh,
it's important to be informed, but you don't want to be informed so much to the point where you're obsessing and, you're out there, and if you really want to be healthy, you need to find that balance, that nice balance where, yes, you're checking in, but you're not obsessing over who's doing this and who's doing that.
Yeah, and when you're watching the news, I think that's more masculine energy. So you're doing your, in some ways, your God energy when you're, because a lot of times the news is more like a warrior energy where you're constantly on,
yes,
you're on the edge of your seat, sometimes waiting for direction, what to do next.
And that can be you can sabotage yourself by constantly being in that energy. So when you should be looking at yourself, I think, and working on your life, your energy, your productive, whatever you need to do, instead of obsessing over everybody else, right?
Right.
You can, and that could be, may not be watching the news or watching, reading the newspaper. It could be obsessing over or working and thinking too much about other people and what they're doing instead of, being with yourself and your own inner goddess, your own self-love.
Yeah. And Bochi says, spend quite a bit of time just connecting. I don't know with whom you're connecting. And did I say he? No, I did not say he, because in all honesty, Bochi, I don't know what your, whatever, feminine or male. So I'm keeping it neutral.
Yes.
I'm just,
and some people identify as neutral too. Some people identify as neutral. So
yeah, and I'm fine with that. I even have clients that are neutral.
Yes.
And I said, okay, just learning how to revamp the mouth, because I want to be respectful to everybody.
Yes, and sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know.
No, we just don't know. So what can we suggest to people when they're fighting with their goddess, their queen, or kings internally? What suggestion, Robin, would you give to someone to come back to themselves, regardless?
Well, my tip is always to go to meditation, but not everybody has time to do that or can even deal with that. So I feel that you really just need to stop what you're doing. If you're getting, agitated, annoyed, obsessive, or whatever, just stop what you're doing and focus on your breathing for 1 minute or even 30 seconds and listen to the voice in your head that's coming from a loving place, coming from a kind place, how you would speak to a child. That voice is what you want to be. That's how you want to be speaking to yourself. You don't want to be speaking to yourself in a way where, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, you could have done this, you could have done that. No, you want to speak to yourself in a kind way and in a loving way. And
yes, and not an impatient way.
Yes. And that takes practice, just like everything else.
Oh, yeah. So it's so funny. I can feel it when the warrior in me starts to get crazed, because I try really hard to be respectful of people's time and where they are, because people are busy. But the warrior all of a sudden say, where's my, I'm going to get my wand here.
Okay.
All right.
I need a wand.
Well, instead of a sword, I use my wand. Not that I'm putting a hex on anybody, but I'm like, okay, dear, let's be patient. Let's be like the romper room. For those people who are old enough, remember romper room? We're looking in the mirror. The mirror is usually a image of ourselves and who we want to be in this moment. So I'm like, oh, I think I need to be a little nicer and kinder.
And that's also called mirror work. I mean, there's a whole movement around that as well. Similar to, it's all about that inner voice that we need to listen to. And I guess another tip would be when you're having a moment, when you're going to that place where you're not being kind to your inner self, you're having negative self-talk, sit with yourself and really concentrate on your chest, your inner, your center here with where your heart is, and like think about your heart and how it's feeling. And when you're breathing, allow your chest to expand. Because I think when people start getting anxious, which a lot of people, we all have those moments where we start to get anxious. And I feel that's when you're not breathing properly, you're not thinking properly, and you're tensing up. So when you get to a point where your mind is going to this negative place or this unhealthy self-talk, you want to breathe in and open your chest and think of your heart and think, I need to love myself and give myself myself a pass today. Allow, and if you're in a bad mood, breathe in, open up your chest, allow yourself to be like, okay, I'm not in a good mood today. And oh boy, is that okay? I still love myself for who I am.
Well,
it's those words, that's practice. You need to do this, self-talk.
And that's one of the things that I talk about in my the course I just recently created. It's a 17-part series on first step to your spiritual journey. As we begin this awakening process, or let's say you're in the middle of the process and you're somewhere, you're in the ditch because all of a sudden everything that you believe to be true, now you are questioning, because this is part of the awakening process. You start to say, what is important to you? And because we're so habit formed that we follow whatever the rules are. So that's one of the things that's been very difficult for me for the last 20 years of this journey. How do you balance both the world of duality, the spirit world, and the everyday world that we live in? It's really one of those things that you learn to adapt.
And I think it's okay to question your beliefs and question, even if you've thought one way for 20 years, there's no reason why you can't change your mind. So
exactly.
I can remember questioning things around me. I can remember at the age of about 7 years old, because I've done this, I've been thinking about my journey. And I can remember I started questioning at the age of 7, maybe even a little earlier, questioning the world around me, the way I saw things, the way things were being done, the things I was being taught, and thinking at 7.
Well, that's also your goddess and your queen talk. It's a sushi roll where both of them have come together and merged. And what makes it difficult, if your family is not like you, or you are not like your family, like I'm not anything like my family, that's when the conflict comes.
Yes. And I would say I probably wasn't very much like my family, but I respected everyone, or tried to understand where everyone else was coming from. And I still try to do that with everyone. Like when I see people out in the world, I'm one of those people that I try to see the best in everyone until you prove otherwise, right?
Yeah, see, that's your feminine energy.
Yeah, and then that's your number. It's like it goes, there's like a little filing cabinet back there, and it gets filed away. But yeah, I think it's okay to question yourself and to think about it and really go deep with whatever.
Challenge yourself.
Yes, and when you're having that spiritual awakening, you need to reach out and take a class. There's, Helen has this great program, but there's lots of books too. I think Helen has an amazing book back there. I can see it on the chair about chakras and working with your energy. And
yeah, I'm so glad I'm not wearing my pajama bottom. Yeah.
But yes, I mean, really, investing in yourself. Again, that's all about part of being your goddess and being your own queen or king, and investing in a book.
Exactly.
I just invested in a book that I started reading.
I just want to show you this before I put this down. Know your chakra. Why do you need to know your chakra? To me, this is a book, or Chakra 101 is, I would say, to learn about energy flow before you go do Reiki or reflexology, because it's cool to be able to do healing work, but if you don't understand why energy gets stuck, why is it stuck in the feminine or the masculine, or why is your goddess retaliating today, this is how we get into trouble, because there's inner conflict and you're fighting with yourself more than anything else. Oh, my crown's killing me.
And that's where energy gets blocked, and you need to
Exactly.
to think of the way your body flow, your blood flows through your body. You don't want your blood to get blocked. You think your energy. Think of your energy as this flow going through your body, and you want it to be open. And every day is not going to be perfect, but you want to try to practice keeping that energy flow in a nice place.
Well, the way I define perfection, and then we should jump into a little meditation, Robin, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, how I define perfection is when you go with the flow and nobody's getting mad or they feel threatened of any changes that's happening. So that's what I think perfection is. If you really think about it, how do you define perfection? Is there such thing as perfection?
There isn't, because no one's perfection level. Like, everybody has this would be my perfect day. That's your perfect day. But you may be the only one in the world that thinks that day is the perfect day. Not everybody thinks the way we think, and that's where I think people get stuck a lot with their inner voice, is they think that everybody should be thinking the way that they do. And that's just not how the world works. So you need to be flexible with your inner voice and understand that when you're getting into that place of not, of getting tense or whatever, you need to open up your chest and take a deep breath and realize, I am my own island here, and I don't have to think like everyone else, and I don't expect everyone else to think like me.
Okay. So that's coming again, if you could be neutral.
Yes, it's neutral. And, you definitely can go one way or the other, but you definitely, facts are good. You definitely want to work with facts. But I think, you need to, bottom line, self-love, unconditional love for yourself.
Okay. So let me put the ending before we jump into meditation. So do us a favor. If you like what you see, please subscribe, follow, what else? Share all of our content, because Robin, my goal is to really help as many people, touch as many lives, and give them a perspective from two kick butt goddesses here. And then we'll hear probably every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll have to think about a subject, but if there's something you want us to talk about, please put it in the box, all right? And then I'll put information about the course, First Step to Your Spiritual Journey. So now to you, Robin. I'm going to get my hot hands going. Okay. And if you don't see me, I'm going to let Robin be the center of attention. My hot hands will be glowing with Reiki. So there you go, Robin.
I am going to do a meditation about being patient with yourself. So you want to be patient and loving and kind and caring to your inner goddess. So everyone, get as comfortable as you possibly can, whether you're sitting up in a chair or lying down. If you're lying down and your arms are by your side, place your palms up. If you're sitting in a chair, get as comfortable as you possibly can. Try to keep your spine as straight as possible, but be comfortable. And place your hands in your lap with your palms facing up. And begin to notice your breathing. And gently close your eyes. And just roll your shoulders a little bit. Relax your eye muscles. Relax your jaw. Notice the temperature of the air around your body. We want to listen to our inner voice, the voice that we hear that tells us, I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm warm. That's the voice that we want to learn to listen to and to appreciate how we're feeling and how we're loving ourselves. So we're going to start by taking 3 deep breaths, deep cleansing breaths. So I want you to inhale as much as you can and exhale as much as you can. So we're going to start in a minute. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Now begin to breathe nice and slowly, nice and normally through your nose. And at any time during meditation, you need to take a deep inhale or exhale. That's perfectly okay, perfectly normal. Do what your body is telling you to do. If you hear that voice that you feel that you need to take that deeper breath, please do. Listening to your inner voice and learning to pay attention to that deeper connection within takes practice like meditation. Having patience with yourself when you are reminded to listen to that inner voice takes time. You develop an inner knowing as you go through life when you need to listen to that inner goddess, that inner knowing. And it always comes to us at the perfect time. But stopping and listening is not always perfect. So take this time right now to pay attention to your breathing. We're going to have 1 minute of silence. And I want you to take the art of your breathing, just really pay attention to your breathing for 1 moment. It's a beautiful practice. And I want you to pay attention to whatever thought or voice comes to your mind during this practice. And when that voice comes, I want you to stop and think of your heart and open up your chest and breathe in and out. So we're going to begin right now. Now taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. And thank yourself for giving yourself that 1 minute of time to sit in silence and check in with your inner knowing, your inner voice. So keep breathing in nice and slowly, nice and normally. And bring your attention to the center of your chest and bring your awareness now to about 3 inches into your chest. And just pay attention to your heart beating. Allow your shoulders to relax. And notice the rise and fall of your chest. I want you to bring to mind an image at the center of your chest that is a beautiful green lotus flower that's slowly opening its green leaves with its pink petals opening up and allowing your heart to open and to feel the unconditional love that is here in your heart. And receive that love that you only can give to yourself by being present within your body, within your mind, and within your spirit. And just breathe into this beautiful flower that's opening in your chest. Allow your chest to expand as much as it needs to. Just allow it to soften. Allow this light that is here within your heart to connect with the earth's energy below you and the universal energy that is above you. Just feel that energy in and around your body. And I want you to visualize this beautiful light that is coming from your heart, going out and around your body, connecting with the energy around your energy field and the energy of Mother Earth and the universal energy above you. I want you to imagine this beautiful light being clear, being full of love, being cleansed. And just breathe into feeling that feeling of having your energy cleansed. And knowing that your inner voice is full of love and compassion for yourself and for your loved ones and for the greater world around you. And that you are capable of listening to your inner voice that is available for you, for your highest good. Notice the temperature of your body. And know that this loving energy is always within you and around you and available to you all the time. Now slowly begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Straighten your body up a little if you're sitting up. If you're lying down, just adjust your shoulders and your spine. Move your hips. Feel the energy coming back into your body. And taking a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Again, a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Relax your forehead. And slowly open your eyes and come back to the room. And thank you so much for joining us today in meditation. And remember that you are always able to tap into that self-love whenever you need.
And please join us again next Tuesday night. Bo T asked us to talk about the 5 elements. I haven't talked about that in a long time. And we're going to talk about how the elements affect us emotionally, physically, and energetically. Again, please share, like, subscribe, contact us, and check out our 17-part First Step to Your Spiritual Journey. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Be well and be safe.
Be safe. Stay healthy.